Joining us today to lead off the program is John Hutchinson, the Board Secretary of Midland County Search and Rescue. John, welcome to Community Focus.
Well, thank you, John.
How would you describe the structure of the function of Midland County Search and Rescue?
Midland County Search and Rescue is a 501c3 organization that's all volunteers and works under the auspices of the Sheriff's Department. And our stated goal really is to find the lost within Michigan. So we respond to missing persons or lost persons calls, and we'll typically go out and search for those missing persons, as well as we provide the management structure and framework for those searches.
Well, when would the Sheriff's Department contact Midland County Search and Rescue? What would be an occasion? What would be a reason?
First off, if there's any person in Midland County who goes missing and a family member or someone who's aware of that missing event calls 911, then the Sheriff's Department, if they get involved, would call us and we'll go out and search for them. Other instances would include other outlying counties or organizations outside of Midland County that might have a similar incident and be aware of our search capabilities. They'd contact the Sheriff's Department and then he would authorize us to go out. And we've never had a case where someone's called and requested our support that we haven't gone out. So,
Now, so the volunteers with the Midland County Search and Rescue are sort of boots on the ground for physical searching is the main function of the organization?
That's correct. We've got about 30 people, and so we use those folks primarily for ground search. Quite a number of them have a high level of training, not only within the state, but outside of the state on a national level. And then in addition to that, there's quite a bit of management, planning, oversight that's required to manage a missing persons event. And typically, just doing the management is more than most staffs can handle, so we provide that function as well.
So, in support of the sheriff's deputies who are presumably in charge of locating or searching for the missing person, what are the actual activities that the Midland County Search and Rescue has a lot of people, which augments the deputies, I presume, and whoever else they might call?
Yeah, and we'll talk about Midland County. In Midland County, for instance, it'd be typical that once a call comes in, a deputy would respond and spend some short period of time doing an initial investigation to verify and validate the incident, and at some point would say, yeah, this is a legitimate missing persons call, and warrants the search and rescue for this person. So in that instance, we'd be called out, and what we do then is we start essentially from scratch and start a number of checklists and interviews of all of the people involved to understand who the missing person is and where they're most likely to be, as well as to kind of categorize that person as to what kind of missing person event this is, because that has quite a bit of impact on how we look. And then from there, we'd be organizing teams and issuing trained teams to go out in the field and start searching. We do what we would traditionally call a 300-meter toss, which is our initial search zone around the last known point for a missing person. We essentially ascribe a 300-meter circle around that location and send teams out to search those areas, and that would be almost automatic. So it would be something that would be done in the first 15 minutes of us being on site. So that would be the start of it.
So do you have plenty of volunteers signed up ready to go? Are you looking for volunteers?
We have about 30. We could use 75 easy, so we don't have enough volunteers. We'd love to have more. And people that do volunteer, they can come in cold, and we'll provide not only the initial training, but direct them towards national training, as well as provide ongoing training to ensure that they're capable of doing the things we need done.
And the training consists of, I presume, hands-on, classroom, knowing what is expected and what you can and can't do, sort of?
Sure. There's quite a bit of, we provide training on navigation so that you're able to go into the wilderness, into the bush, if you will, and be able to manage the search zone and find your way out. We provide detailed training on how to search, where to look, how to manage clues, how to track, how to communicate because most of our communication is between teams, ground teams, and management is through amateur radio. We encourage people to get amateur radio license. So there's quite a bit of training involved, and that's just at the lowest levels. At higher levels, there's essentially planning training, management training. There's national certifications for planning, for instance, that we encourage people to go get. So there's almost no end to the training you can get.
Well, where can our viewers find out more about Midland County Search and Rescue to get information about volunteering, or even just a little bit more information about the organization itself?
You know, the web is the easy way. So midlandsar.org, or, you know, just the way it sounds, midlandsar.org is our website. So going there, they'll find a button you can push to fill out an application. After the application's filled, there's a background check from the Sheriff's Department, and that essentially gets you into the organization and gets you started. If anybody's got questions about the organization, we've got a mail address that essentially is mcsar@midlandsar.org, so that they can use that as well if they've got questions.
Well, thank you, John, for that background and update on Midland County Search and Rescue.
You're welcome.